So, the Supreme Court of Canada has now ruled that expats can now vote in our elections, and Trudeau already passed a bill that allowed them to do this. And this is allowing people who have been living outside of Canada for more than 5 years to vote in our federal elections. And this is completely insane, first of all, to let people who have not contributed into our economy, into our country whatsoever for decades in a lot of circumstances, to vote in our elections, right? Like they're going to give the vote, it's going to be to like 1.4 million people extra are going to have the right to vote in our elections. And clearly the majority of these people are most likely going to be liberal, and even if they were all conservative, all right wing, that would not be good either, right? It's not fair, first of all, to let people who haven't spent a dime in your country for years and years to have a say in where your politics, where your country is going. Now, I don't even think people that are on welfare and taking more than they're contributing should have a right to vote. Because, if you don't have any skin in the game, then you're always going to vote for the party that takes more money from the middle class and the rich and redistributes it to you. That's pretty much always is what is going to happen. And all the people that are living in other countries, they are being manipulated by their media. They have no skin in the game either. Doesn't matter. Whatever happens in Canada is not going to affect them. So it's kind of crazy to give them the vote. It's like, oh, but I have family that live there and I have a connection to Canada. It's like, yeah, buddy, but once you leave and you stop contributing to the nation of Canada, what right do you have to tell us where to spend our resources and the money that we accumulate? You're no longer a part of that because you fucking left. Now, if you want to come back and want to live in Canada again, start contributing money, sure, then you can. But it's like, all Trudeau is doing, and the Supreme Court backing him up with like this, because now future governments, if they want to make it a law that you can't vote if you live out of Canada, now they can't. Now they're gonna have to challenge the Supreme Court again, and that could possibly take years, or I don't even know if they can challenge it. But it's like, it's just insanity. And this is just Trudeau stacking the deck once again. He's hated more and more every day. So he is desperate because, like I said, he passed a bill already that allows them to do this. Now the Supreme Court just kind of solidified it. But this kind of shows you how far left our Supreme Court is in Canada for them to have this type of ruling on people. I think it was like a 5-2 ruling. So 5 out of the fucking 2 people are completely retarded, and 2 of the people have brains, because those 2 other people could understand how ridiculous and ludicrous this is to allow people who don't even live in Canada to vote. Like, that's totally insane. We need a lot more restrictions on voting and on who can even be eligible to run in office, because right now we have something like 55 different MPs and senators that have dual citizenship from countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, like all these different fucking countries, and we expect these people to have loyalty to Canada, like complete loyalty to Canada and Canadians, but obviously they don't. I don't expect anybody who leaves a country to just completely forsake their fucking country and be like, well, I'm Canadian now and I'm going to only care about Canadians and helping Canadians. It's like, no, look at Ahmed Hussein. He's the Minister of Immigration who's a refugee from Somalia, and all of a sudden we have a lot more Somalians in Canada. I don't think that is just a fucking coincidence. All these people are going to come in and they're going to fight for their countries, and they're going to try to get Canadian money to be spent to help causes in Iraq or Syria or wherever the fuck they come from. right? So I think people need to live in Canada for like maybe 3 generations in order to be allowed to probably, you know, I don't know about voting. Maybe, I think actually, probably, yeah, probably for voting and running in office, right? You know, if you think that's unfair and stuff, and you're like, that's terrible, discriminatory. I don't really care, because a lot of these people are leaving countries that are not very good, don't have a lot of wealth, are very dirty. You know, a lot of shit and piss everywhere in fucking India. So, you know, you can leave there, come here, and, you know, put your time in, pay your dues, and once you pay your dues, your kids have kids, they become citizens and stuff. You know, 3 generations at least of people, maybe even more. So then they feel like they're Canadians, and then you can be more sure that they're going to have Canada's interest at heart. And obviously, that's not perfect, because, yeah, Trudeau is Canadian and he's selling us out, right? But generally, people that are from Canada that have been here for generations, whether you're Asian or white or whatever, they're going to care more about the interest of Canadians as a whole and Canadian people, as opposed to having allegiances to different countries, like these people in other countries right now who are going to be voting. Like, you know, like they have no skin in the game. They're living in Germany, they're living in France, they're living in all these other fucking countries, you know. And also, a lot of them, how many of them were Canadians for how long, right? You know what? There's a lot of Asian and Chinese people who come to Canada, birth tourism, have babies from Saudi Arabia. They come, have babies in fucking Richmond, BC, okay? And then when they get old, then they go back home and they go live in China. So those people are Canadians now. And now those Chinese Canadians are going to be able to vote in our election, right? That's insanity if you think about it. See, this birth tourism is another thing that we need to fix right away, and how it's just it's crazy that we let people come into our country and have kids and become citizens and they can just leave and shit. It's preposterous. America and Canada we're stupid for letting people do this, and Canada's even worse because we pretty much encourage it. We're like, oh, come here, you know, give us money, give us a lot of money for your hospitals or for the nursery that we'll put you in or something. But then it ends up costing way more for, like, you know, some of these people in the hospital bills, and they come back, they get cheaper tuition for university, all this shit. But like, yeah, man, like, there's gonna be Chinese and Saudi people who come and take advantage of our birth tourism, and they're gonna be voting in our election now, you know. Thank you, Supreme Court. Thank you, Trudeau, because, you know, it's you fucking idiot leftists that are doing this, but they're just doing this because they think it's going to help them win the election. And, you know, everybody should be against this. And the only people who aren't and are for it are partisan hacks that don't care about principles or anything like that. All they care is about winning. That's it. They don't care about, you know, doing things honorably, or, you know, not stacking the deck, not cheating. They just want to win at any cost necessary. And this is another instance of this. And obviously we can't trust the Supreme Court of Canada. You know, we need to get rid of those judges immediately, or just abolish it entirely or something, because it's not doing us any fucking good, right? You know, just, I don't know, keep some of the fucking lower courts or something. But that's all I pretty much had to say about this. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.